Hi friends, I'm here today to show you my 5 favorite handstand shape strengtheners. These are movements that you can put into your conditioning that will help not only improve your handstand shape, but will improve your endurance and your power in the handstand shape so that you can apply the shape to your skills and it will serve you no matter what event you're working. The first one is going to use a resistance band, so hopefully you have one of those available. That's the only piece of equipment that we'll really be using, by the way, so no worries. But so I've got the band and it is wrapped around some sort of post. I'm on my knees because it is a nice way to keep your body shape and your core shape better. So a lot of times when people stand up on their feet, they're gonna do more of the arching and the leaning forward and all of that stuff. So I'm on my knees, you can have your knees together, your butt squeeze, your abs tight. From here, we're going to bring the arms up by the ears, hold for a sec, and then come forward. Up, and then forward. It's important to stay tall through your ribs, the crown of your head, tall through all of that, and you're just moving your arms. If it's too much and you can't bring your arms back, then you can grab more toward the end of the resistance band, or you can choose a lighter band. So just going there, you're trying to keep your ribs from moving as you do it. You're also trying to shrug your shoulders up by your head. Yep. So this is helping with open shoulders. It's helping work the strength of the upper back as well. And the thing is with your upper back is going to be, the tighter it is, the more strength you need to overcome that tightness. So I did make a flexibility series earlier that can be really helpful because the more flexibility you have, the less strength you need to achieve these positions. So just keep that in mind. The next one's going to be a core hold. So you can see I've got panel mats here, which is really great, but you can also replicate this with furniture. So I've done it on a coffee table and a couch, an ottoman with another ottoman. You can figure out what you might have at your availability. But what we're gonna do is start on the back. So you're gonna lie on your back. You're gonna lift your body up so that your butt is off the ground. Now, there's a few ways to do this one. You can have your feet touching or you can have them open. If you have them open, you're gonna get more glute. If you have them touching, you're gonna get more hamstring. So that's up to you. But at any rate, you want to put your arms over your head so your body is extended. So now you're holding a straight shape with your core, but you're not able to use your hips or your shoulders to help you. So this is pure core right now. So I like to do about 1 minute of each angle. So this is the face up angle, but you might want to start with 20 or 30 seconds if you have not done this one. And then sideways, so we're trying to make the body in one long line. So I'm here, pulling my abs in, my ribs in, looking forward. The tendency is going to be for your hip to want to dip down, so you have to counteract that by squeezing your inner thighs together, squeezing your abs. It's very common for people to either be rolled forward or back too much. I usually end up back, which isn't good, but that is what my body wants to do, so I've got to tell myself to pitch forward just a little bit, and that usually helps with that. Other side. Now, the spacing of the objects you're lying on makes a big difference. So to make it easier, you would bring the objects closer together. To make it harder, you'd move them far apart. So you'll need to find the level that's appropriate for you right now. But the priority is going to be a straight shape. So don't move the objects really far apart, only to have your body sagging like a banana in the middle. All right, and the final one's going to be on the stomach. So we're here. This one, I do prefer to have the heels touch. It can be a lot of pressure on your knees if you let the legs wing out to the side. So when the heels are together, you're going to get more quadricep to just help protect those knees. And this one, there'll be a tendency for your hip flexors to want to take over and your butt might start sticking up in the air. So try your best to fight that. those 4 are really great, and you can even run through them more than one set if you have the time. We're going to do an overhead shrug next, and we can go back to this resistance band again. And this one as well can be seated, half kneeling, or you could do standing up. I usually go for the half kneeling just because it, like I said with the exercise before this, is it makes it a lot harder to cheat. So, because we have bad habits when we're on our feet of doing different postural things that aren't really ideal for what we're trying to work with the handstand. So you can have, I'm just going to show you guys a half kneeling one. So you have the band in your hands, you're going overhead. The other thing about half kneeling is it makes the band the right length. If you do on your feet, you're going to have a really hard time holding the band with your hands. In that case, you'd actually be stepping on your band, which again, it would be fine if you can actually make it stretch that long, but for me, I'm not going to be able to do that. So we're kneeling on the band, then we're going to shrug the shoulders, cover the ears, and then back down. So you're trying to do that without letting your core change. So if I go sideways here, and if I shrug, but to do the shrug I go like this, that is not what we want. So we want the hips to stay tucked under, the rib area to be flat, and then we're going to press up and then down. The one last thing I want to mention with this is you don't want to overly tense your neck to do this, which I know sounds crazy because I'm really moving my neck, but the actual, like right behind your head, this area, you don't really need that area to do it. It should be the upper back, which is the area that we're moving here. So shrugging and then down. And you can even shrug and hold. So doing maybe 20 shrugs followed by a 20-second hold can be really good. If you want, you can do fast ones too. So to really get the most out of something like that, it's going to be better to break it up and not do it all connected. You know, do the slow, then the hold, and then the fast, and you could do that where you maybe rest 30 seconds between. But if you're working on endurance, something like for a floor routine or for a bar routine where you're going to be pretty tired, then doing it all connected can make a lot of sense. So the next one, I do have to do a small equipment shift. So when I made these videos, I was thinking about people at home that don't have all the lovely stuff I have. So what you can do for this is you can do it off of a couch, a sturdy table, I don't know, a bench in your yard, something that is not 2 panel mats if you don't have 2 panel mats. And I'm gonna take a small weight. I quite often don't even use weight for this, but we will do that to just show. So I've got some ankle weights for my weights. Alright, those are gonna be kind of crazy. I shouldn't have grabbed those heavy ones, but alright, so I'm here. Now you want your chest on the edge of the mat. I'm gonna start without the weight first. So basically your chest is off a little bit, but most of your body is supported. Straight arms. This one has a couple parts to it. So we're face down, we're gonna lift the upper back. Now we're gonna lift just the arms beyond where you got to with the back. Now we're gonna drop the arms back to where they were and then down. So it's a 3-parter, and you're supposed to hold for 5 seconds. The thing is too, it's easier to do this the higher your surface is. So if I was on a bed, it would be easier than something that's lower because you'd have more momentum in a way when you lift your arms up. But I also don't really love that because then you're like using momentum to get a lot more lift, which isn't really the point. I just wanted to point that out, that the lower the surface, the harder. So part 1, we're trying to hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was lifting my back, now I'm lifting my arms past that point. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going back to just my back being lifted. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I'm just resetting. And then to do that, doing that again. So that is only 1 rep, which is terrible. I know, I'm so sorry. So now again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Arms. 2, 3, 4, 5. Back down to back. 2, 3, 4, 5. And down. 2, 3, 4, 5. So what it would look like with a weight is usually a 2 pound or a 3 is plenty for this. So this is a 3. So I'm gonna go my back, 2, 3, 4, 5, my arms. Try not to let my head help. And then back, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then down. So I would strongly suggest trying it first with not the weight and then only adding the weight. If you can do 5 reps of the 5 things, so basically every rep takes 15 seconds, so 5 times 15 seconds, that's your 1 set. If you can do that without feeling like it's doing much, then yeah, go ahead and hold the weight. But starting with even a 1 or a 2 is probably plenty, especially for the beginning. And the other thing about that too is when you do the weight, you're gonna have your hands all of a sudden closer together, which can make it harder. So some people do better when they're able to just have a 1 in each hand if they have a 1, or you can hold water bottles for your 1. So that one is really, really great for not only handstand shapes, but improving your casting, because it works those small muscles in your back that help you open your shoulders fully to get your cast all the way up to vertical. All right, so then we're gonna go with a scapula lift next. So that one, we're gonna go face down, and your legs can certainly be outstretched. I just don't have the room right now for that. What we'll do now is arms are outstretched in football goalpost position. And that's about as much as I know about football. Okay, so we're gonna do shoulder blades, move them away from each other a bit. Then I want you to move them in. Now I want you to lift your forearms off the floor. Slowly back down. Scapula out, scapula in, lift. Scapula out, scapula in, lift. Scapula out, scapula in, lift. That one is great for keeping your thoracic area of your spine and your scapula in good alignment during your handstand. So that one is going to help for people that have scapula that wing, where they're kind of sticking out. And that just throws off your line, and it also is harder on your body to have those bones not being aligned the best way. So that one, you definitely don't need weights for it, but what you can do if it becomes too easy for you to just do the lifts is you can do holds and pulses. So what you would do is scapula out, scapula in, you're gonna lift, and then you could either hold it for maybe 15 seconds and or you could pulse beyond there, so you're getting that end range more. So also, if anybody has problems, the exercise where you lie on your back and you make the kind of snow angel with the arms, that one, if that one's really, really hard for you, this would be a great exercise for you. The final one that we're going to work on is putting it all together, and that's going to be the wall handstand. There's a bunch of ways to do this, but I like to have something in front of my body for this. So I'm gonna grab a kickball just because that's what I've got. But any object at the gym, people use pit cubes, things like that. So what we'll do, you're going to put this object against your legs. And it can help if you have somebody do it for you. But I'm not gonna have that, so I'm gonna do it myself. All right, so I'm here, I've got my object. So the idea is to walk your hands in close, and then you're trying to hold your handstand so that basically the object is keeping your body parallel to the wall, and you're pushing into it a little bit. Now it's easier to do it when it's against your hips, like I'm showing now. It's harder to do it when it's against your thighs or your shins. So you can start with whatever feels best for you. But once we're here, we're just gonna shrug the shoulders. We're gonna look at the wall. Or you can even look between your hands, it's up to you.